I've got 10 tips for you today that are completely free of charge to implement to improve your PlayStation VR2 experience. If you have any additional tips afterwards, make sure to drop them in the comments section below to help others out. Welcome everybody, my name is Doragon and these are my top tips for PSVR2 usage. Tip number the first. Wear your glasses. Now granted, this isn't going to affect everyone, but for those that it does, the difference it makes is huge. If you wear corrective vision lenses for any reason, wear them when using the PSVR2. The headset has lots of room inside to comfortably wear glasses while playing. Due to the design of the headset, there is no interference with the glasses from the PSVR2, and suddenly, you can see better or easier. I really struggled with the headset when I first got it, only managing 10 minutes before I felt ready to collapse. It turns out, I required glasses. The moment I got my corrective lenses and wore them in VR, I was able to play for as long as I felt like. Which granted was only 30 minutes due to my fitness at the time, but that's a 3 times increase over before. Your vision matters, folks. Use the correct tools to protect or even correct it. And if you don't want to wear glasses in VR, there are options to buy additional lenses that sit on the headset itself that match your prescription from places such as VRWave, among many others. Number 2 is turn on 120Hz mode. This may seem obvious to some, but to VR newcomers it may not be. Generally speaking with VR, the higher the frames, the smoother the experience and the less motion sickness or wooziness you will encounter. The PlayStation VR2 can run at a maximum of 120 frames per second, depending of course on game design. But to achieve this, you need to turn the option on in the console settings with the PSVR2 attached. Head into Settings, then Accessories, then PSVR2, then Video Output, and make sure the 120Hz slider is to the right. This can be changed with the X button. This may affect TV output for certain games, meaning people in the same room cannot easily watch your gameplay. But for you, the player, the experience is far better and smoother when the option is turned on. It also turns the headset into the ultimate way to enjoy PlayStation 5 flat-screen games, offering games like God of War Ragnarok and Destiny 2 at 120 frames per second in the headset's theatre mode. Definitely worth a toggle and try. Coming in third is quick menu access. There are a bunch of settings that can be changed on the headset, but sometimes you don't notice that you need to adjust something until you are in the VR world. Rather than going into the system settings menu or taking the headset off to resolve this, you can access a quick menu from the PlayStation button. But there is a quicker way to get there. A quick double tap of the same PlayStation button on either Sense controller will launch you directly into the quick menu, allowing you to change and adjust all of the quick settings that you fancy. If you double tap the PS button and immediately hit X, you'll also quickly enter into the camera pass-through, meaning you don't need to touch the headset at all to see your surroundings. Tip the fourth, play in a well-lit environment. The PlayStation VR2 uses inside-out tracking, meaning these cameras on the outside of the headset track the Sense controllers in your hands for movement in-game. If the cameras cannot see the Sense controllers, your game is going to freak out, lose tracking, and possibly cause terrible and sudden motion sickness. At best, your gaming session will become nigh impossible to play. Open your curtains and blinds in good bright weather, or turn the room's lights on at darker times of year to give your VR2 the best chance at tracking your movements. There are accessories that could help, like key lights or infrared lights, as the PSVR2's cameras are infrared sensitive, but just flicking the switch on your ceiling rose will resolve the majority of tracking challenges. Tip number 5. Adjust the function button action. By default, this button is set to switch to pass-through, but that is done more easily via the quick access option mentioned earlier. Thankfully, PlayStation allows you to customize what the function button does. It can be either pass-through or microphone mute. I have mine set to be a mute button for the mic. Same sort of deal as the DualSense, especially with the inbuilt mic right here. For me, recording directly on the PlayStation and in multiplayer, this function is far more helpful and intuitive. If pass-through is better for you personally, use that. Either way, it's worth knowing what options are available to you and selecting the correct one. Rolling in at 6th is unravel the cord twice. Alright, this one is going to need some explaining and may not be the same for everyone, but stay with me here. This is how I store my PSVR2. It is beautifully neat, completely out of the way when not in use, and because it is in its own drawer, it doesn't get damaged or dirty whilst not in use, which is great. That cord though, that beautifully coiled 4-meter cord, needs work every time I take it out. I coil this cable differently every time I use the headset. This is good tech practice to reduce, as much as possible, additional cable wear with bends and kinks. What this means when setting the headset up each time is that the cable remembers different coils, and this can negatively impact the gaming session by knotting up while playing. What I have started doing, and will continue to do because it prevents this situation from occurring, is to unravel the cable, plug it in, then unravel it again. I will walk around the room holding the headset in my hands to make sure that the cable sits happily flat, straight and unkinked on the floor before then putting the headset on. It looks ridiculous to the casual bystander, but the lack of tugs, trips and kinks is well worth it for each gaming session and the longevity of your device. 7th is use your preferred ear or headphones. Audio can make or break VR alongside the visuals. Swordsman, for example, can be huge fun partially living out that Roronorazoro fantasy, but when the clang of swords clashing happens after my opponent and I have backed off from one another, it negatively impacts the game. That's a game-specific issue though. The rest of the time you want good audio, but you also want to be comfortable. While I love the 3D Pulse headset for its full sounds and spatial audio, it is big and incredibly warm to wear for VR, especially in games such as Pistol Whip or Synapse where you are very physically active. I personally am perfectly happy with the included deep in-ear headphones that physically connect to the headset, but I'm not an audiophile and cannot really tell that big a difference between mid-range earphones and top-end. Those who are though, do have access to a 3.5mm jack on the headset to use any high-quality earphone or headphones that they want to. This is a great addition in terms of hygiene as well. Both my partner and I use the headset. As we all know, sharing deep in-ear buds is dumb as it can easily spread infection. But the 3.5mm jack means easy switching of earphones or headsets between different users. It gives you freedom in your audio preference. So use it. Use the headset you prefer to use at the quality you prefer, simply by using the included jack. On to the good stuff with 8. Clean your headset after every use. Partially sticking with the hygiene thing, and returning to the longevity of the device, cleaning it is vital. Even if you are the sole user of the PSVR2 in the household, cleaning it after every use just makes sense. This thing sits on your face and head. It has direct contact with your skin in many areas, and due to the physical nature of many VR games, you will sweat. Disgusting, I know. If you leave that to fester in your headset, it will irritate you in future uses. It will smell, and the silicone rubber will deteriorate quicker. A safe all-purpose cleaner like Co sprayed onto a cloth is more than sufficient to clean it and doesn't irritate the skin. I have ichthyosis and my partner has eczema, and we've never had a reaction to Co. But of course, other cleaners are on offer and may work better for you. Make sure to pay special attention to those lenses. They are your gateway into VR worlds, and if left as they are after use, you'll notice your visuals start to blur. Cleaning them prevents this problem. Thank me later for the cleaning tips. 9th is for your enjoyment and is fully get into it. Many VR experiences are physical. Even those stationary ones where you don't need to move your feet like Pistol Whip and Beat Saber are physical. So the best advice I can offer for these titles is embrace it. You'll have far more fun. Beat Saber, for example, get dancing. Not only will that make you better at the title, moving you more fluidly in line to cut the blocks, but it will increase your fitness, endorphins, and game time. Something like pistol whip, brain beats, or body combat, throw those punches, duck into those dodges. Synapse, live out your Star Wars fantasy by fully using the Force. It's not actually the Force, but you get the drift. Draw and aim your bows fully. Swing like Spider-Man in Zenith the Last City. Throw in the towel properly in PokerStars VR. Getting into the game fully, allowing yourself to totally become immersed, heightens every experience on the headset, and I highly recommend going all out. Now, this is probably my most important tip, so pay attention. 10th is wear the headset properly. This should be obvious, but from many of the comments on my PSVR2 6 months later video, it apparently isn't. So let's spell it out. If you do not wear the headset correctly, it will be uncomfortable, unstable, blurry, and unfun. So, how do you wear it correctly? There are two main points of contact with the Halo design of the headset. The back is the most important, I feel, as this then dictates where and how the front of the headset sits. The back of the Halo sits below the back of your skull, essentially where the skull and spine meet. The front is then lined up in front of your eyes. Usually, this means it will be sitting high up on your forehead. For me, it often comes well into my hair and sits at the very top of my forehead, beyond the hairline. In this position, the screens are suspended in front of your eyes with no pressure placed upon your brow, eyes, or nose. Once in position, use the IPD adjuster, the little adjustment wheel on the top of the headset screen, to place the lenses appropriately in front of your eyes. When worn like this, complaints of comfort, blurriness, viewing angles, and so on should be completely eliminated. Unless you do accidentally punch the headset while playing, but we've all done that one in our times. And there you have it, folks. 10 tips on how to get the best out of the PlayStation VR2 without needing to spend tons of extra money on accessories. As mentioned earlier, drop any additional tips into the comments below for others to read. Otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this one detailing how to jailbreak the PlayStation Vita and TV without a PC. And until next time guys, have yourselves a fantastic day, and take care.